Can't let another day slip by wasted. No days wasted. I know it's the end of the year. I know everybody's slowing down. I know you're off from work. I know it feels like we just need to relax. And I get it. I get it. That's what society hits us. But we are not those people. We are not the average, ordinary person in society. We have big goals, big dreams. There's things that we are trying to get to. So we cannot afford to waste days. Doesn't matter what time of the year, doesn't matter what society says. They call it a holiday, not a hollow month, not a hollow week. Like it's a day. And then we get right back to it. Let everybody else take off the whole month. Let everybody else take off the whole week. Let everybody else wait until 2025. Let everyone else wait until whenever that time comes. But we have to get after it every single day. These are, again, just some reminders. I know you know these things, but the question is, do you do what you know? Do you do what you know? If you know these things, do you do them? Are these things that are on repeat in your mind, and then you take action on these things and then you execute on these things? That's why we need these reminders over and over again. We need to reprogram how we think. We need to reprogram, right, our limiting beliefs. We got to do these things by reinforcing these messages. Here's where some of the things that I wrote down from that. Again, every time you hear something like that, grab one thing out of the air, put it in your mind, go execute on that thing. There might have been two or three things that might have just been like, yeah, that's right. I do need to do that. Then go do it today. All right. One of the first things I wrote down was get started. Just go. Just go. Every successful person just goes. It's just once you know you have it, you have to go execute on that thing. Was listening to some TikTok or something like that. Cody Sanchez was talking about Mr. Beast. I don't know if you know who Mr. Beast is, right? But he's a guy that kind of YouTuber, streamer guy. He kind of blew everything up, multi millionaire. He might be closer to $1 billion empire. Younger guy, but she asked him, his team, hey, what makes his name's Jimmy? What makes Jimmy really special? And his team said he just does everything faster than everybody. When he has an idea, he executes on the idea immediately. He doesn't wait. He doesn't plan. He just goes. And that's what his team said is the reason why he was successful. Again, success leaves clues. Success leaves clues. There you go, Rob. Success leaves clues. So you can pick these things up from everywhere, but how often do you just get started? Or do we have a lot of planning and waiting and thinking and moving and all these? And until that time comes, then I'm going to do it. It's going to happen. Let's wait to the beginning of the new year. Let me wait a week. Let me wait a month. Like change that habit to just getting started, get things done. Do hard things consistently. How often are you doing hard things consistently? Like, how often are you pushing yourself out of that comfort zone? How often are you doing hard things? I think it was David Goggins in there that said, do something that sucks every day. Every day. Just something that you're like, man, I hate this. I don't want to do this. Do it because you're training your brain. You're training your nervous system how to do hard things, how to do challenging things. What would we teach our children? Just do the easy things. Just do the things you like doing. Just do the things that come natural to you. Just do the things that are comfortable. We would never teach that. So why do we do that? Why do we move through life just doing the things that are comfortable? Just doing the things that we know we can do. Just doing the things that keep us happy. Just doing the things that help us relax. That leads to a weak life. Like we'd have a weak mind if we never actually worked out these muscles. You got to do hard things every day. I got my ice plunge. I got my it's sitting up in my living room. My cold tub. It's still in the box. It's there. Again, I'm taking steps, y'all. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna do the hard thing because that's a really hard thing in my brain, and I've been practicing how to do these hard things. So don't worry, it's gonna be very soon that you're gonna hear me say, "Hey, just got out of my cold plunge. Hey, just got out of my cold plunge." Why? Because I train my brain on how to do hard things. Why do I love staying in business? Because it's hard. It's hard to be in business long term. Why do I right enjoy marriage? Because it's hard. It's hard. Do hard things, practice hard things, and it trains your brain how to build that mental toughness, y'all. It's big. Third thing I wrote down was optimism. How optimistic are you on a daily basis? How optimistic are you? How much do you believe that good things will happen? Again, I just consume a lot of this stuff. So I always have these reference points. I was just listening to an interview last night with Wallow. He's a part of $1 million worth of game. He's from Philly, right? Wallow is one of the most inspirational people. If you ever see him on social, right? Did 20 years in prison, came out. He's now right a deca millionaire, right? Got signed a 300 something $1 million contract for podcasts. Imagine being in prison for 20 years of your life and then coming out and immediately changing your life over the next 5 years, where now you make hundreds of millions of dollars, right? It's amazing the inspiration. Well, he talks about how could he do that? He was like, I was always optimistic. I always knew that like tomorrow would be better than today. I knew that like whatever I was going through, I knew that like later it had to get better, right? He has all these little sayings because he goes out and right and he talks. He says something like, God will test you before he bless you, right? God will test you before he bless you. And so you don't know how long that test is going to be or how long you're in it, but you got to know that there is a blessing on the other end. So how optimistic are you about your life, about your finances, about your health, about your relationships, about whatever areas you want to be successful in? How optimistic are you? How much is your natural brain saying, "Oh, I know it's going to be better. Oh, I know it's going to be better. Oh, I know it's going to get good. Oh, I know I have this up ahead." We have to train our brains how to do that because the world will tell you the opposite. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. Someone should tattoo that on their head, right? I'm comfortable being uncomfortable. You should be uncomfortable more times than you're comfortable. The sad thing is, not maybe not sad, our language, in our language, we are constantly seeking comfort. When we say things that we want, it normally comes to some form of comfort, is what you're actually looking for, which is the opposite of how we are successful. You actually have to seek how to be uncomfortable. When's the last time you had a really uncomfortable conversation? A really uncomfortable conversation? Or do we let those kind of slide? It's like, oh, they said it, it's okay, I'll pass it. Like just even in our conversation, when you get uncomfortable, these are the things, again, small shifts make these huge differences for us to be able to get to the life that we don't need a break from. One of the last things that they were talking about in there is the word discipline. You heard them say it like 8,000 times towards the end of that video, right? Discipline your emotions. Discipline is the path to freedom, right? Fall back on your disciplines, get out of your feelings. What areas in 2025 do you need to be more disciplined? What areas do you need to say, hey, I'm not gonna succumb to my feelings in this area. I'm gonna fall back on my disciplines. I've been in business so long that I've created so many disciplines for myself that it really doesn't matter how I feel that morning. It really doesn't. I just I not that my feelings are way out of the way when it comes to things that I need to get done. Right? It's a discipline. I fall back on the habits and the disciplines that I've created for myself. I know how to take care of my body. I know what to do in business. There are disciplines there. If you don't have these disciplines in place, you're relying on your emotions. If there are areas that you're undisciplined, you're just relying on how you feel. Just relying on your thoughts and kind of what you want to make happen, but you don't have disciplines around it. So we really have to make sure that we are putting into place disciplines in our life. Again, discipline is the path to freedom. Discipline is the path to freedom. You can take that in many different ways. Financial discipline puts you on the path to financial freedom. If you are disciplined in your finances, and most people aren't because our money is run by our emotions. We're emotional creatures. Money is run by our emotions and our habits. But if you switch that and say, hey, instead of that being the case, instead of me just running my life off of what I feel like at the time, and right, it says scripturally, right, the heart is deceiving, right? Like you can't always listen to your feelings. Doesn't mean your feelings are always right. They're just warning signs to say there's something deeper there you should pay attention to. But if you're running your life off of your feelings and your emotions, it's likely you will not get to the outcome you want. Like I said, in your financial life, you are not disciplined in your finances, disciplined in budgeting, disciplined in tracking, disciplined in your spending, disciplined in understanding where things are going, you won't get to freedom. You won't get to financial freedom. Here's the big one most people struggle with being disciplined in your time. You want time freedom, right? You want to get to a place where you have your 24 hours or your 24 hours. You want to go off, do the things you want to do. That's great. How disciplined are you in your time currently? How disciplined are you in the 24 hours that God gives you every single day? How disciplined are you in it? Or do we have some minutes go off here, some hours go off here, some time here, some time to be comfortable, some time to be lazy, right? Like all those little things. How often? So if you want to get to, again, discipline is the path to freedom. So any area of your life that you want to be free, you need to start with discipline. Start with understanding how to discipline yourself. Again, these are things we know, but do we do what we know? Or do we give ourselves the excuse? Do we rub our proverbial back and be like, it's okay? Of course, right? You guys hear me? We can talk about these things. On the flip side, of course, there's times you got to give yourself some grace. You got to pat yourself on the back. You got to do some things that encourage you and pick you up. Absolutely. Because again, no one's coming to save you. No one's coming to save you. No one's coming to help. We're blessed we have groups like this. We have, environments like this where we can get encouraged and kind of move our lives forward. But in general, once you're off of this call and you go back into your life, it's just you. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's coming to help you. So you got to start doing the things that you know you need to do to get to the life that you want. That's why we're doing this, ladies and gentlemen. It's not to stay average and ordinary. And again, nothing wrong with people that just, that's the life they want to live. God bless them. It's just not me. It's just not us. That's not the life I want to live. I want to live an extraordinary life. I want to, I want to design a life I don't need a break from. I want to design a life that people can't even imagine that that's our life. Great health, great relationships, financially free, time free, right? Being able to move about, help people when I can. Like these are the things that we are headed towards. And in order for us to get there, we have to do some things differently. You got to focus on some things. You got to choose your hard. You got to choose your hard. You got to choose what you are going to fight for. You got to know there's going to be struggle. There's going to be adversities. Like all these things are a part of the journey. They make you who you are. I was listening to Tyler Perry, right? I study success. I don't know what y'all do on your free time, right? Like, I don't know. But like every opportunity I get to like my downtime is I'm listening to very successful people talk. And inevitably, they say all the things that we already talk about. You just get to hear it again from a different person, right? You just get to hear it again from a different person. I was listening to Tyler Perry talk about, right, another podcast, and he was basically like, man, I'm so glad that God took me through all of these trials and all of these adversities, because if he would have blessed me with what I have now, I would have not been able to hold it. I would have not been able to steward it. He was like, I had to grow to become this person so that I could have these things. It's the message I give you guys all the time. The adversities grow your capacity to handle the life you're asking for. Be very careful what you pray about. Be very careful what you're asking for, because before God will bless you, he's going to test you. So you got to grow your capacity. You're not the person right now, currently, that can go get to the life that you want. You have to grow into that person. But that's the journey, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we're here to do. That's what you should be focused on in 2025. That's what you should be focused on the end of this year into next year, is how do I grow? What areas do I need to grow in order to get to become the person that can handle the life that I'm asking for? To whom much is given, much is required. If you're asking for much, you have to become more in order to have it. But the good thing is, it's possible. We could all do it. We're all human beings. We all got the same 24 hours in a day. We might all have different skill sets and different things that we're good at, but at the end of the day, your belief that you can make it happen is what runs all of it. Remember, y'all, if you change your thinking, you change your life. Successful people think a certain way. John Maxwell has a book called The Way Successful People Think. If you think a certain way, you'll get a certain outcome. Napoleon Hill says, find a millionaire, do as he does, you will have what he has. Doesn't mean literally, it means find someone that's successful, copy how they think about things, and you will get the same results. Success leaves clues. It's really simple things, not always easy, but really simple. It's how you make it happen, y'all. It's going to be a great weekend. I know it is. I love you guys. I want you to win. You deserve to win. Your families deserve to win. If nobody ever tells you, I will always remind you, you deserve it. You deserve it. People are counting on you. Family, friends, people you have not yet met, they're counting on you to get this information, to do what you know. Not just get a bunch of information and don't do it. You got to do what you know. Knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is power. And people are counting on you to apply this knowledge so we can go off to our ideal life. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'll be back here on Monday. And by the way, go out and do something that scares you this weekend. Push yourself out of your comfort zone. Don't do stuff that's super comfortable. I want to hear about it on Monday. Take care, y'all. Take care.